the violence that we continue to see plaguing our city or nation. And we hope to be able to turn that around, reverse that, because it's totally, truly, truly unacceptable what we're dealing with. Okay. We should be launching here any second now. Okay. All right. So again, you guys, thank you for tuning in and watching. For those who don't know, my name is Cyron Smith. Everyone just calls me Cy, easy to pronounce. And we are conducting this 7 o'clock call to talk about making Dallas safer. Dallas has a little Dallas in Chicago's Roseland neighborhood. So how Chicago plays a role in making Dallas safer as well. I'm going to be discussing that. We have a member of the Dallas Police Department joining us, and I really appreciate that. The agenda is going to be this. First, with anything we do, we begin with introductions. We go to the purpose. We go to what's the action step, and then we go with closing out with the next steps. So it's real clear to me that what all three presidents I can remember talked about, whether it's President Obama, whether it's President Trump, whether it's President Biden, was about more police. And while we definitely appreciate those men and women who raise their right hand and swear to die for others, we know that the vast majority of anything is good and decent. It's the select few, it's the bad actors, and it's the silence of the larger community. No different than mothers who know their sons is out doing wrong and look the other way. So we have accountability that need to be placed on all fronts. National Block Club University is definitely an advocate of making our neighborhoods safer and stronger. And we believe that that's going to be best done when we hold each other accountable. So this is what this call is going to be about. It's 7:01 now. So what I want to do here is I want to put up a slide so you guys can see. So you guys can see something here. All right. The takeaway, which would be access to the police chief. We hope to win over Victor and get access to the police chief on the way to the mayor of Dallas, Texas. That's what we want. We understand there's a pecking order. We respect that order, and this is one way of getting there. This is a pathway to getting there. So that's the actual takeaway. I want to validate who we are and why our input matters, what we offer, on why you should, and people that may watch this from Dallas should listen to us. And I think the takeaway will be more opportunities for young people to travel, get away. And this goes back to what happened to me and with the U.S. Navy, allowing me to travel and see the world. So I believe that's a key component. That's a missing component in our society, and we want to do our part to turn things around. Okay. So let me give us a 5-minute break here, and then I'll be right back on. Hello there, Victor. All right. Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2.
Hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Thank you.
Very good. Sorry, I was having some technical difficulties here with my audio. Sorry about that.
No, I appreciate you getting on. I do have to tell you I am recording it so that way anything you say the public will hear. So guard your words.
Okay, no, understood.
Yeah, excellent. So it's for the most part, I did notify my contacts in Dallas. They're not going to be able to be on, but they are going to watch this as well, so that you have some local communication as well with Billy, Carter, and Tiffany. So my name is Cy Smith. I'm the founder of National Block Club University, and I grew up in Chicago, where you guys' former superintendent is now here, David Brown.
Yes, sir.
Yep. So I grew up in one of the notorious housing projects, shooting and killing every day, and I knew I wanted to grow up and do something about that. And I ended up joining the Navy, traveling around the world, seeing some stuff that I said, what if we came back and put that together in urban neighborhoods that could make a difference? And so that's kind of my background. I'm a married father of 4, and I travel around the country helping to get this process that we put together going so we can have a safer United States of America. So do you mind, introducing yourself, how long you've been on the force? And please tell me, Victor, so did you get the letter? Did it come down from the police chief? Tell us that too.
Hang on just a sec. I'm about to put my camera on. Tell me if you can see.
Excellent. Now I can't hear you. It's on mute.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yep.
All right, perfect. Cool. Yeah. Actually, funny story. I just got back from vacation on Monday, and I get to my desk and I see a flyer on my desk saying, "Hey, we want to be part of this. We want to have we want to represent at this. Give them a call and find out." And I think I gave you a call yesterday, day before, and I was shocked to find out that I was the first person to call. I was like, okay, well, I just got back from vacation, so it's a shock to me as well. But yeah, I mean, it's so I actually work in the Office of Community Affairs for the Dallas Police Department, and that's kind of what we focus on. We focus on community engagement, education, empowerment, whatever we can do to strengthen our communities. You know what I mean? Because it's not always we can't arrest our way out of everything. You know, a lot of times we gotta help folks out to guide them in the right direction. So that's how I ended up, I guess, coming across you. Okay.
Now, how long you been on the force though?
So I've been on the department a little over 8 years. Born and raised here in Dallas. I grew up in Oak Cliff. Graduated from Duncanville High School. I heard you say you're a Navy man. Prior to the department, I was actually in the United States Marine Corps. Did a little over 8 years as a United States Marine. Right out of high school, joined the Corps. Loved it. But you know what? Like everybody else, got married, had a kid, and I was like, you know what? It's time to hang up the boots and figure what better way to kind of continue to serve than come back home and serve my city. And
I love it. I love it. Well, I feel sorry for you. You know, use Marine. You know, it's okay though.
It's all right. I've learned to get used to it. It's all right.
But you know, we had the 24th MU with us. I was on the trip, and so Westpac, we went up to Camp P and picked them up, and went on Westpac.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah, excellent. So I'll give you just what our philosophy is. I'm not sure. Again, this will be recorded, so you can share it with your superiors as well. But what we did in Chicago is we took 20 zip codes, and each zip code is linked to one city. And so the zip code in Chicago's Roseland neighborhood, 60628, is Little Dallas, Texas to us. This is one of the biggest zip codes in Chicago. It's on the far south side. Very challenging zip code. And what we do, the purpose of that link is so that ultimately the young people of Dallas will have a travel outlet, travel partner, and it'll be to Chicago. When they come to Chicago, it'll be in the Roseland neighborhood and vice versa. The Roseland young people come to Dallas and integrate and work with the people of Dallas. With both of us being in the military, this concept came from me being on the ship. And on the ship, there are 3 levels of each person on the ship. So someone close to retirement, someone in their prime, and then someone at a boot camp who's going to succeed them. And so I put together that same methodology to look in each of our zip codes, who are the retired carpenters, 70-year-old carpenters, who are the 40-year-old carpenters in their prime, and how many 16-year-olds in the neighborhood that love building stuff. And so that tells us what to do, because you got retirees, adults, and youth, all carpentry. And it just says, now let's get them together and let's do carpentry projects. And so that's the philosophy. We call that RAY, retirees, adults, and youth, for 20 different careers. So the same 20 cities being linked to Chicago's 20 zip codes. This is going to allow us, wherever we meet someone, to be able to let them know where they're linked to. So for instance, if I meet someone in Oak Cliff who they want to be a teacher, I already know the teachers network, retired teacher, adult teacher, and other young people that want to be teachers, so that now it makes sense for them to harmonize and get together and connect. And then we know the goal is for them to travel to Chicago, to Little Dallas, Texas here. And so that's kind of what National Black Card University is designed to do. We've been taking teenagers to different cities our whole existence, because that is what allowed me to join the Navy, was getting outside the neighborhood, seeing different things. And so it was easy for me to leave and go away for the military. So that's kind of where it is. But I did want to get your thoughts on that, but I want to name these neighborhoods in Dallas so you can see kind of what I think is going to really help Dallas and help us as well. But did you have any thoughts on what I shared so far?
No, I like it.
Well, we military, so we know the value of travel.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But and it kind of makes me think of my wife. So my wife's in the Army, and so she moved but she was never stationed on Army base. She was always on a Navy base or a Marine base. So whenever she'd go station at the base, they needed sponsors, right? She'd have a sponsor when she got there. The sponsor kind of show her the road, show her the base, show her kind of how to process on the base and stuff. So that kind of makes you think of, you take somebody from of town, bring them to Dallas, but you guys are taking one up, one above, you know, not just showing you the ropes, but I'm showing you life and how to succeed in life. And that's amazing.
And Victor, this is when you look at the violence that's happening in urban sectors all over the country. We're now starting to put money into violence interrupters and anti-violence processes. But one of the key components that I see missing, we know the adolescents, that's the most risk-taking season in their life. When you're 13 to about 21, you're going to take the biggest risks, whether it's drugs, sex, you name it. And the country haven't invested heavily during this most risk-taking period in their life. So now that they're starting to put more millions of dollars into, programming, the challenge though that I see is we can just occupy their time with programs and have them cleaning up and doing things of that nature, which we saw a lot of here in Chicago, but nothing beats travel. So when they get a chance to go somewhere outside of their city, outside their neighborhood, it does things that, to me, no amount of conversation is going to do, because they get to see it firsthand, smell the air in that new environment, meet new people, be challenged to step outside their comfort zone. And I think that's still America's missing piece in what these young people need around the country. And this is where we come in at, because if you have 20 cities, and these are primarily the cities that, the presidents talk about when we talk about the violence, Chicago being at the top of the list, each one of them are still in their silo just doing programming with the young people. And so it's not this national interchange, which we hope we can move the needle and get people thinking that way. And I think the other piece when they are interchanging is they're interchanging with purpose. So if you're a 17-year-old in Dallas that loves working in carpentry, when you get to Little Dallas in Chicago, we have the retired carpenter here ready to work with you. So it's going to be just like in the military, you're going to be linked up with someone in your MOS. So it's going to be synchronized. So you continue the education, but you're in a new environment. You're away from people you might have been in trouble with peer-wise, street beef type. You get to turn over a new leaf for that weekend or 6 months. So I want to pause there and get your thoughts on that too.
Okay, so I guess just so I understand the program a little better. So basically, you're what y'all, I guess what the idea of it is I take a young man, like you said, 17-year-old here from Dallas, maybe struggling, going, had some hiccups, done some things, put him in this program, send him to Chicago to, like you said, to the carpentry, for example, introduce him to the program, be there for, X amount of time. And then once he's done with the program, bring him back to Dallas.
So it depends, right? Because hopefully the goal, depending on the age, and of course we know if they on parole, that's a whole nother can of worms there. But hopefully the goal is to put them into a way of earning money. So if it's anything in the construction trade, this can be the start of them being a laborer into whatever the field is, so they can earn their keep, and they may want to stay or go to one of the other 20 cities. I think that's the best part, is now they can spend their early years in different cities earning money, because in every city we have this network of people who's willing to help our young people out. So they don't have to go back to Dallas unless they choose to. Just like Army bases all over the nation, we got these 20 places where we got relationships at.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. I think it's amazing, because like you said, a lot of times these kids, they just got to be taken out of that environment they're in. And then when you not only take them out of that environment, when you empower them with a skill, oh man, I think that's amazing. That is amazing. I'll tell you, like, for me, I say jokingly, a lot of us say jokingly, grew up here in Dallas, is once I became an adult that I discovered there's a whole northern part of the city. I didn't know there was a north part of I-30. A lot of folks that grew up in Dallas were the same way. As a kid, you never go north of the city. You stay south of 30, and that's amazing. That's real amazing.
So we on the same page. Now let me read this to you, because what the counter argument is, you take a gangbanger from here, you put a gangbanger there, and they still gonna gangbang. They still gonna do what they're doing. And so what we try to say is, we also, because I stated the zip code, everything we do is by zip code. So in the zip code, we gave each zip code one list to keep. Every zip code has one list to keep. Now I want to read this to you, and I emailed this to you, so you don't have to write all these down. But this is what we did to Dallas, and don't beat me up over it. So all science-minded people in Dallas, we linked them to University Park. All entertainment people in Dallas, we linked to Northwest Dallas. All police and firefighters to Bluff View. All judges to North Dallas. All lawyers and legal people to Oak Cliff. All food people, chefs, restaurants to West Dallas. All construction people to Oak Lawn. All veterinarian type people to Uptown. Technology people to Design District. All business people, entrepreneurs to South Dallas. All gardening and farming to Cedar Crest. All political people to Deep Ellum, is E-L-L-U-M. Elam.
Deep Ellum.
Okay. All travel type people to Old East Dallas. All teachers to Lower Greenville. All investigators to Keesler. That's K-E-S-S-L-E-R.
Kessler.
Kessler. All nurses to Lake Caroline. All doctors and medical people to 5 Mile Creek. All artists and designers to Wolf Creek. All marketers to Urbandale and Parkdale. And then all clerical administrative people to Eagle Ford. So that was 20. I just named to you 20 that we micro put into Dallas to help us be able to better, when we meet a person in any of them fields, we know where to put that list at in Dallas so that that list is ready to be nationalized when we talk about them traveling. So what do you think about that?
Ooh, I'm just curious how you came up with that list. Was it just kind of looking at data and plugging in?
So that's my background. In the Navy, I was an AZ, so I had 65,000 publications I was responsible for, the librarian, if you will. So very meticulous, attention to detail. So I tracked the shootings, killings, robberies, and rapes in all 20 cities. So I got a whole list compiled. And so in Dallas, we was just looking like Oak Cliff kept popping up on the list, for years. And so this is a mix of stable neighborhoods as well as destabilized too. So that way you bring in those people who are more well-to-do to, help out. And so I came up with all of them in all 20 cities. So it's 400, 20 times 20 is 400 of these links in every one of the 20 cities that I put together based on just my military mindset.
Yeah, no, I mean, a majority of those are spot on. I heard a few of them. There were if I could make recommendations, I would kind of flip flop them. But yeah, majority of them.
Which one? Because I love to hear that. Like, what?
Well, like, oh man, which one stood out to me? One that I really liked was the West Dallas one. I think that was Chefs, right? Culinary, West Dallas.
Yep.
That was a really good one.
And why you say that? It's a lot of restaurants there.
What's up and coming? It's an area that's up and coming. It's it was historically kind of underserved over the years, but since it's up and coming, people are starting to invest money into it. I mean, there's just a lot of smart kids. A couple of high schools, or a high school, I should say, in West Dallas, Kingston High School, which has DISD's got a lot of programs in that school. That kind of falls perfectly with that one. And which one was the one you mentioned? Eagle Ford. What was the Eagle Ford one?
Clerical administration.
Yeah, like Eagle Ford, for example. That's all. That's the southern southwest part of the country. It's not a whole lot there. You know what I mean? It's housing and stuff. Oh man, there's another one. I'd have to look at the list again.
Yeah, I send it to you. I emailed it to you. But I love hearing what the locals think about it when they hear this for the first time. Like, wait a minute, why this? And it's like, well, let's work it out. But that's just from the outside perspective. So that piece there, that's the big part, because if any of our Chicago children are there or young people are there, we'll look for the church in each of these neighborhoods. The churches is a great base from a spiritual standpoint, and they will come to serve and to volunteer because that adds value to the church and it allows them to have a safe space. And from that, they know what the list is that we assign to that area to help us build that list of retirees, adults, and youth for whatever that field is. So yeah, so that's kind of, it's only one other piece I have, but that's a big component of it right there.
No, that's good. Like I said, I like it's so it's broken down by zip codes, right? Is that
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
Chicago has 66 zip codes. A lot of cities don't have that many zip codes. So that's why I went with the neighborhood and some of them that might share the same zip code, but it's still 20, mirroring Chicago's 20 zip code.
There's a couple parts of town that I'd recommend.
Oh, what you got?
It's an area we call Pleasant Grove, the southeast area of Dallas. It's a big area. There's different parts of Pleasant Grove, Elam. I mean, just different neighborhoods in Pleasant Grove that'd be worth.
Wait, Deep Elam. I said Deep Elam, right?
Well, Deep Ellum. So Deep Ellum, that's one that kind of caught my attention because Deep Ellum is like our entertainment district. So Deep Ellum isn't necessarily a neighborhood. Yeah, there's folks that live there now, but most of them are professionals. Single professionals that maybe work downtown or something like that.
Okay.
Don't really have a whole lot of youth down in Deep Ellum since that is an entertainment district.
Okay.
But let's put it out there. Oh, Pleasant Grove. So Pleasant Grove, I mean, that's the heart of the city. That, Oak Cliff, Webb Chapel area. Webb Chapel is the northwest part of Dallas. I think you mentioned northwest.
Webb Chapel?
Webb Chapel. Webb, W-E-B-B, Chapel. And then another area, we call it 5 Points. The area is called 5 Points because of the way it sits. There's streets. 5 streets feed into it, so it's called 5 Points. But it's a big there's a big immigrant population there from everywhere, from all over the world, not just specific kind of or specific immigrant.
Now, is that in the middle of Dallas or west side, east side?
So that's northeast Dallas.
Okay. Okay.
So if you ever hear like the street Park Lane, that's the area of Park Lane, 5 Points, and I think that'd be a great area to focus on just because it's
okay. Now that's real helpful, real helpful. So on the flyer that they left on your desk, you saw the tours. Did you see where it talked about where the next tour was?
I glanced at it briefly. Like I said, I don't have it in front of me, so I'd have to believe you if you.
Yeah. So it says, so every third Wednesday of the month is our focus on Dallas. That's why today is the third Wednesday, and it says the next one is August 18th. And it had next to August 18th, South Dallas. So out of all of these neighborhoods, 12 of them we go on tour to, meaning we're asking the other 19 neighborhoods to come to this one neighborhood for the month and pour into it, invest heavily into it. And then next month, go to another neighborhood. So we spend 12 months out the year on tour, heavily investing in each of these neighborhoods. So August is South Dallas, and September is Oak Cliff, and October is Urbandale, Parkdale, and then in November is West Dallas. And it just keeps repeating each year. And the tour, again, I think is missing because just like in Chicago, it's so, everyone is in their silos and they stay in one silo. And what the tour does, it says, no, come on, let's pick up and let's go into another neighborhood, waving the white flag of love and peace, and let's pour into them. That gives us something to do. We meet our rest of the people in our city. And if I'm a carpenter, I'm coming over here saying, where you're a carpenter, I want to work with them. And we do it 12 times a year. So it's always neighborhoods interacting with each other. What do you think about that?
Well, many hands make it work. You know what I mean? That sounds really good. So I guess my question would be who are the folks that would be coming? Would it be folks from your organization, or how does that work?
Yeah, so that's the component that's absent of us. That's all about Dallas. So like Billy, one of our leaders here, he's in Oak Cliff. So Billy is asked to go to South Dallas next month. And, because Billy may never go to South Dallas if it wasn't for the tour. So this allows him to have a reason to go and interact with the people there. And the key with it is criminals they, they love it when people are isolated. So they definitely don't want to see people communicating, because now you might start sharing tips and all that type of stuff, and I can't get away with it. So the more the tour has people participating, it is just going to allow the city to shrink in terms of knowing each other. And it's not all the same day, it's the whole month. So you got 30 days to pick when you want to go. But it allows that, like in this case, South Dallas should be getting ready for next month to receive people every day into their town. So what's coming up, whose birthdays, just all type of reasons to come and interact positively in South Dallas next month. Because they know every August they coming. So it allows them to get ready for it.
Interesting. So
yeah, that's a different twist, that concept. So yeah.
No, I like it. I guess I just be curious. So who, there's already designated people they're going to be linking up with, areas they're going to be focusing on, or is it kind of?
So we always start with the church. So what we do from here, we just Google the zip code. We look up churches in the area, businesses in the area. We just look it up. Then we start mailing out the same way we mailed out to you. We got a big mail out bill. And we see if anyone responds. And if anyone responds, then it's like, bingo, let's now get everyone to rally to them.
There's you just made me think about it just now, because you brought up, there's a neighborhood called Bonton. The Bonton neighborhood, and I can't remember, I don't know the zip code off the top of my head. Bonton neighborhood, it's in South Dallas. And if that's where you guys are going to be coming to, that'd be an excellent place for you guys to focus in.
How you spell that though?
Bonton, Bonton. Bonton.
Oh, okay. Just like it sounds.
Mm-hmm. Bonton, there's a little, oh man, I remember the name of the church, but there's a Bonton Farms, which is it's a farm in the middle of the neighborhood that grows local, and they have this little cafe and stuff there, but they focus on fresh food available to the community. That'd be an excellent point of contact.
All right. Well, hey, you go help them get something in the mail here in a minute. So now let me ask you, tell me where Dallas is with the whole race, Black Lives Matter, all of that. Like what do you see in Dallas?
As a city or as a department?
Both.
Yeah, both. I think I'll start as a city. I think as a city we're learning. Everybody else, we're learning. The thing about society is, you're always going to be adjusting. You always have to always learn new things, because we're living in different times, and I think if we fail to do that, we're not gonna succeed as a city or as a department. But I think we're learning. I think we're, as a department, we're lucky right now with the leadership we have to be very open to meet with people, even a simple sit down meeting with somebody. Folks always want to talk about, we need to have the conversation. I was like, hey, we're here. Mm-hmm. Have coffee or whatever it is. I think that's where we're fortunate.
Excellent.
I think sometimes, no matter what you do, you always going to have those folks that no matter what you say, what you do, their mind's made up, and that's okay. That's their God-given constitutional right to feel how they want to feel. And it is what it is. But that's not going to stop us from doing the right thing and doing what we have to do. And we've made mistakes. There's no denying it. We've made mistakes as a department, as a city, as a profession. We've made mistakes, but it's what we do afterwards that I think defines where we're going to go as a department.
We a big part of our whole process. Thursdays is our race relations day, Thursdays, and so it allows us 52 times a year to dive into that conversation about just being a good human being and treating people that way, and dealing with the biases and things of that nature. And we believe that career piece is gonna help us when it comes to racial reckoning. So like I always tell you, if you have a white lawyer in Winnetka, that's one of the richest suburbs in Chicagoland area, and Inglewood, where they're killing kids every day, and it's all Black. That white lawyer has really no reason to interact with Inglewood, because of, why would he? Like, where would he begin? With that lawyer being, that white guy being a lawyer, and because we're organized in every zip code, we know which children want to be lawyers. We just gave them a reason to interact now. Now this lawyer has a network. He got access to law firms. And here we say, here's these children that want to be what you already are. Now it's a reason to interact. And we think that's going to allow all over this nation to get away from the race part and just say, how can I invest? And if I'm from the outside, now you've done the organizing work, and now you made it easy for me to plug in and do what I do, which is do lawyer talk. If I'm a teacher, do teacher talk, whatever. But that's going to be a good piece, we believe, to help us nationally give people reasons to invest in each other, get to know each other, and things of that nature. So that's why I asked you about that. All right. So next steps, do you, because the police chief is Mr. Garcia now, right?
Yes, sir, Chief Eddie Garcia.
Do you have direct ties to him, relationships?
Yes and no. He is very, very open, but I mean, I'm being a military guy. I'm a big Ten Command guy, so that's just it's a flaw. It is what it is. But I go, up Ten Command. But I do
now,
have.
I was gonna say, Victor, now comes the tough question that I have for you, because we mail out to the mayor. Before Mr. Brown came here, we mailed out to him. We didn't get this response, so I'm honored that you on here with us. But I think Mr. Garcia should know what we talked about, and the ask to Mr. Garcia would be to the mayor of Dallas, because honestly, this can be monumental for this nation to get this type of process going. And President Biden came up with what he's going to do. And there's more technology, more police officers, and we need that. But we're not even talking about this travel piece with the youngsters. And I just think that it's going to not be as effective if we don't push that. So I would love to ultimately get to your mayor, but I understand you want to be the police chief.
and like I mentioned before, so I work in the Office of Community Affairs. So we work directly for the chief. So you have different obviously divisions in the department, patrol division, tactical, special operations, whatever. So where I work is Office of Community Affairs. That's who we report to. So we have a direct line of communication with them. So I guess to answer your question, yeah, we can definitely relay the message to him and kind of let him know kind of what this is, what the plan for it is. And then obviously if you'd like to set up a meeting with him, that's something that I'm sure he'd have to look at a schedule, because as you can imagine, he's pulled around 1,000 different directions.
Yeah, this helps. So definitely I'm gonna let them know how great you were coming right off vacation. We had a good conversation. They can see it as well. And the goal is to get it to him and then ultimately to the mayor. And I've even reached out to Chicago police and told them to let Superintendent Brown know Dallas responded. So I appreciate you. So that's it, man. I appreciate your time. Any thoughts, any questions for me?
No, man. I'm honored to have been able to kind of conversate with you for a little bit. This is awesome. I'm excited. However I can be involved with this, I'm in. And I'm blessed to where we focus on community engagement. So it's one of those that, hey, if we like something, we're in. 100 officers with us to make this work. You know what I mean? Because like I said at the beginning, we can't arrest our way out of everything. And if and involved with something that we can impact the life this strongly, man, oh man, it's amazing.
Yeah. Well, every July we do the police convention in Gary, Indiana, and they come through Chicago. So we're gonna make sure I stay in touch with you and invite you out next July. It's the second Saturday, so we just did it July 10th. And it's the reason to physically come together now that COVID is somewhat under control. So I appreciate you there, Victor.
Yeah, I'm gonna put my email in the chat.
Yeah.
So you can shoot me an email.
Yes, indeed.
And then like I said, just keep in touch, whatever I can do. And like I said, being a jarhead, being Marine, man, if I don't have the answer for you, I'm gonna find it for you. So I'm excited with it. It's simple, just first out last name at DallasCityHall.com.
Yep, I'm writing it down right now. All right, I appreciate you, and we're gonna be in touch. I'm at least keep you in the loop via this email here.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I'm let me know Anything else I can do to help, or anybody else you need to contact with?
All right. I appreciate you. Thank you
Sure,
for your
absolutely,
service, man. All
absolutely. You
right.
as well, sir.